Your dog is lying on the floor, quietly licking their paw, over and over. You barely notice it anymore, because it's just something dogs do, right? Here's the truth. Paw licking has at least 5 different possible causes, and most owners only know one of them. Some are completely harmless. 1 or 2 can turn into a real problem if you miss the signs. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one applies to your dog and what to actually do about it. Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Aaron Kelly. Paw licking is one of the most common things owners ask me about, and honestly, one of the most misunderstood. It's not one single behavior with one single cause. It's a symptom, and the cause behind it changes everything about how you should respond. Before we dive in, comment below. Does your dog lick one specific paw more than the others, or is it random? Hold that thought, because it actually matters. I'll explain why later in this video. Part 1. The normal, harmless version. Let's start with the good news. A moderate amount of paw licking is completely normal. Dogs use their tongue the way we use our hands. It's part of how they clean themselves, especially after walks, after eating, or after stepping in something mildly irritating like dirt or dust. This version is usually brief, doesn't seem urgent or frantic, and your dog moves on afterward without any lasting sign of discomfort. If this describes your dog, there's genuinely nothing to worry about. Grooming is a normal, healthy behavior. The distinction we care about is when licking shifts from occasional grooming into something more repetitive, focused, or intense. That's when it's worth digging into why. Comment below. Would you say your dog's licking looks more quick grooming or more can't stop, keeps going back to it? That difference is exactly what we're breaking down next. Part 2. Cause 1. Boredom and self-soothing. One of the most common causes, especially in dogs that spend a lot of time alone or understimulated, is boredom-driven licking. It's similar to a human habit like nail biting or hair twirling, a repetitive behavior that releases a small amount of calming brain chemistry, giving temporary relief from restlessness. You'll often see this pattern show up during quiet, low-activity parts of the day, evenings on the couch, or long stretches when your dog doesn't have much going on. How to tell? This type usually isn't limited to one specific paw, tends to happen during downtime, and your dog is easily distracted away from it with a toy, a walk, or attention. What actually helps? More mental stimulation, not less licking directly targeted. Puzzle toys, additional walks, training sessions, or simply more engagement during the day often reduces this kind of licking significantly because you're addressing the actual root cause, an understimulated brain looking for something to do. Part 3. Cause 2. Anxiety and stress. This is closely related to boredom, but distinct. Anxious licking tends to be more intense, more repetitive, and shows up specifically around stressful triggers. When you leave the house during thunderstorms, in new environments, or around unfamiliar people or animals. Unlike boredom licking, this version is harder to interrupt. Your dog may seem almost locked into it, and you might notice other anxiety signs alongside it, pacing, panting without heat or exercise, or the kind of body language we covered in our body language video, like whale eye or a tucked tail. What actually helps? Addressing the underlying anxiety, not just the licking itself. This connects directly to routines like the ones we covered in our fireworks and separation anxiety videos, consistency, safe spaces, and gradual desensitization to specific triggers when possible. Let me know in the comments. Does your dog's licking seem to happen more during calm moments, or specifically when something stressful is going on? Part 4. Cause 3. Allergies. Now we get into the medical side, and this is where paw licking becomes genuinely important to pay attention to. Allergies are one of the most common medical causes of excessive paw licking in dogs. These can come from a few different sources: environmental allergens like pollen or dust, food sensitivities, or even reactions to certain fabrics or cleaning products your dog walks on. Allergy-related licking tends to have a specific pattern. It's often more intense than boredom or stress licking, frequently affects more than one paw fairly evenly, and can come with other symptoms like reddish or brownish staining on the fur from constant saliva exposure, mild swelling, or a slightly unpleasant smell developing over time. Real example: without diagnosing at a distance, a dog with seasonal allergies might show more paw licking specifically in spring or fall, alongside itchy ears or a bit more scratching overall. That seasonal pattern itself is a useful clue for your vet. What actually helps? If you suspect allergies, this is genuinely a conversation for your veterinarian. Diagnosing the exact allergen usually requires actual testing or a structured elimination process, not guesswork. But your vet can help you narrow it down and find real relief for your dog. Part 5. Cause 4. Something physical. Going on, this is the one that most often gets missed, and it's exactly why I asked earlier whether your dog focuses on one specific paw. If your dog is intensely licking just one paw over and over, especially if you notice limping, swelling, redness, or they seem sensitive when you touch that specific spot, that's a different situation entirely. This pattern can point to something physical: a small cut, an embedded splinter or foxtail, a minor injury, or in some cases a developing infection in that specific paw. Real example, again without diagnosing from a screen. An owner once told me their dog suddenly started obsessively licking one back paw. On closer inspection, there was a small grass seed lodged between the toes, causing real irritation. Once it was removed, the licking stopped almost immediately. What actually helps? If the licking is isolated to one paw specifically, gently check between the toes and pads for anything visible. But if you see swelling, an open wound, or your dog reacts painfully to being touched there, don't try to handle it entirely on your own. That's a same-week vet visit, not a wait-and-see situation. Part 6. When to actually worry. Let's simplify everything we just covered into a clear checklist. Paw licking is generally fine to monitor at home if it's occasional, not focused on one paw, and your dog seems otherwise completely normal. It's worth a vet visit if you notice licking that's become constant or intense. Focus on one specific paw: visible redness, swelling, hair loss, an odor developing, or your dog showing any sign of pain or limping. I want to be completely clear here. I'm not going to pretend any single video can diagnose your specific dog. What this video gives you is the pattern recognition to know when something is likely harmless and when it's genuinely time to get a professional opinion instead of guessing. Let's recap the 5 things paw licking can mean: normal grooming, boredom, anxiety, allergies, or something physical going on with that specific paw. The pattern, which paw, how intense, and what else is going on, tells you which one you're likely dealing with. Now here's what I want from you. Scroll back up and comment which cause you think matches your dog the most: grooming, boredom, anxiety, allergies, or something physical. I read every single comment, and honestly, this helps me understand what to cover next, because you're the ones telling me what's actually happening with your dogs. If this video helped you actually understand what your dog is trying to tell you, do 2 things for me. Hit subscribe, because I break down something like this every single week, And share this with one dog owner who always says, "Oh, mine does that too." Because I promise you, they're wondering about it right now, just like you were before this video started. I'm Dr. Aaron Kelly. Thanks for taking the time to actually understand your dog. I'll see you in the next one.